Welcome to Self-Publishing with Ally, proudly sponsored by Book Vault. Sell high-quality print-on-demand books directly to readers worldwide and earn maximum royalties selling directly. Automate fulfillment and create stunning special editions with Book Vault Bespoke. Visit bookvault.app today for an instant quote. Our self-publishing news stream is sponsored by book cover design company Mibble Art. They offer unlimited revisions, take no deposit to start work, and you pay only when you love the final result. Get a book cover that will become your #1 marketing tool. And now, here's your host for Self-Publishing with Ally, Dan Holloway.
Hello, and this week's Self-Publishing News podcast feels as though we're dealing with all of the big subjects, but I will try to be brief. But we are finally talking tariffs. Largely, we haven't really talked about this yet because the situation hasn't been clear until now, and there has always been the feeling that even when the situation is clear, it is likely to change. So, outlining various things about how tariffs may or may not affect authors, but this is bearing in mind that the situation is highly likely to change between recording this podcast and it going live. So do bear in mind that this is the situation as it stands and not anything more significant than that. And the real thing that came out in the news is that as it stands, the latest round of tariffs in the US, although as we now know, many of these have since subsequently been paused, when they were in place, and if they are put in place again, books will be exempt. That's the TLDR. And the reason for that is that books seem to be part of the so-called information exemption. So the tariffs have been put in place with or under the set of rules that allows for an information exemption, which means that basically, any tariffs on books, such as the 7.5% on imports from China to the US that were put in place in 2018, they will stay, but there won't be new tariffs put in place on books or on printed matter in general, or the kind of things that convey information. But the flip side of that is that there isn't really yet clarity on the impact on the raw materials, or on what the impact of tariffs on the raw materials that printers use to make the stuff in which they convey information. There's not much information yet on how that will be passed on to customers. So it's basically a watch this space, but no massive changes expected for now. I think that's pretty much where we are. So that's getting that out of the way, and on now to less complicated news and Canva. So Canva obviously is the image creation tool that lots of people use. People use it to design covers. We use it to design business cards or banners for our websites, graphics. Lots and lots of people use it to create adverts for Facebook and other places because it's a really great tool for combining multiple images and text in cool, eye-catching formats. It was in the news last year because Canva decided that they were going to change their pricing structure for Canva Pro from a flat $120 a year for a team license to £10 a month per team member. So for a lot of people, this was going to represent a significant change, and a lot of people in the creative community, where people within a single operation, so where you had an author working together with an advertising person, a marketing person, and a cover designer, they may have all been covered by the same team license previously, but now they're all going to have to pay separately. Basically, this is what you were paying for a team. Each member is going to pay separately. That caused a lot of negative reaction. And possibly one of the reasons for the negative reaction is that the rationale given for this change to pricing structure was that it was going to help Canva to develop AI tools. So there was an assumption that everyone is going to want AI tools and everyone is going to be happy with there being AI tools. But now we actually have some of those tools have come out. So that is the news that has come this week, is that Canva has started launching its AI tools. The big one is, as you would expect, there is an image generator. So you can use Canva's AI image generator. There are some other tools though. So there is a spreadsheet tool for people to do project management. And I can definitely see that that would be of particular use to teams. So yes, I can see a direct link between why you'd want to change your team's pricing structure so that you can create a project management tool for teams, if that's your thing. There's also some coding related tools. As someone who isn't a Canva Pro user, I'm not quite sure of the value to Canva users of coding tools. They clearly think there is such a value. So yeah, Canva has finally unveiled the AI tools, which were the justification for it hiking prices, and we will see whether creators decide that it's worth the price. I guess the answer will be found in the continued or otherwise subscriptions. So that's the big AI news. There have been various developments around the Meta case. So there's been an amicus brief by some law professors in the US. They have put in an amicus brief, as I say, to say that they believe that authors are in the right in the case of various authors against Meta. And that is because they are claiming that Meta's use of copyrighted works is not transformative. So transforming original material is obviously one of the key justifications for using someone else's copyrighted material. They don't believe that that is a justification that can be made in this case. So that's about all that's been going on in the AI world. The other big news this week relates to the launch of MediaScout. So this is an Ingram tool. It's a new platform designed to showcase manuscripts to media companies. So by media, I mean big screen, small screen, film media of various kinds. It's a way for people who are looking to have great source material for their moving picture projects. They can now scour the Ingram database, and it's got 2.5 million titles are involved, including the work of 250,000 indie authors. So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that these will be titles that are published through Ingram Spark that are now available for the rights can be discovered and inquiries made for or by any TV or movie company who wants to consider basing moving picture projects on rights that they discover through the MediaScout platform. This sort of exploitation of screen rights through literary platforms is not a new thing. As I mentioned in the column, this is something that Wattpad does particularly well. It's something that Webtoon do really well. This idea of taking something from the idea stage through the book stage and then to the screen. It's not quite going to be end-to-end in that way, but it is an interesting way another way for people to make the most of the rights they have in their material without necessarily having to go out and find how to get in touch with screen producers. I hope that I get to report at some stage on indie titles being taken and turned into very nice deals for authors and hits on the small and large screen. That will probably be a little while down the line, but in the meanwhile, I will keep an eye out to see if there is anything actually happening, any movement, any interest actually being shown in the manuscripts that are available. Clearly, Ingram thinks that there is. Who knows? But it feels like a promising development and a way to get more attention to our books of the right kind, which is a positive note to leave on. Wishing you all a very happy holiday season, and I will see you or speak to you again afterwards when it will pretty much nearly be May Day, and look forward to it very much and speak soon. Thank you very much indeed.
You've been listening to Self-Publishing with Ally, proudly sponsored by BookVault. Sell high-quality print-on-demand books directly to readers worldwide and earn maximum royalties selling directly. Automate fulfillment and create stunning special editions with Book Vault Bespoke. Visit bookvault.app today for an instant quote. Our self-publishing news stream is sponsored by book cover company Mibble Art. They offer unlimited revisions, take no deposit to start work, and you pay only when you love the final result. Get a book cover that will become your #1 marketing tool. And if you haven't already, we invite you to join our association and become a self-publishing ally. You can do that at allianceindependentauthors.org.